Faith Jones channel, a place where listeners will get a balanced perspective of issues affecting the Black community. Here we do not mollycoddle, water down, or soften any blows. This is a stage where both genders are equally scrutinized. Here, there is balance. All right, hello, and welcome back. This is Faith Jones coming at you again with another one of my videos. And as always, it is good to be with you. I really wanted to talk about there being no revolution until we can learn how to control our impulses. Ladies, as promised, I'm going to do a video series focusing on just us because we have focused on our men far too long, and it's time for us to do ourselves the service of saying that we need to work on bettering us because we love ourselves first and foremost. And the only way that we're going to be able to offer anything to ourselves or anybody else is if we deal with our issues. And I'm going to do this in a loving and compassionate way because you are my sisters and I do love you. Ladies, you can lie to me, you can lie to yourself, but you cannot lie to reality. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm not going to, sugarcoat it or anything like that. I'm going to try to come to you as compassionately as I possibly can, but I've got to be truthful and honest because I'm calling for you to be truthful and honest with yourselves. But when we use our wounds as a tool of control, and then we want to turn around and cry victim when our plans blow up in our face, this is not self-love. It isn't. Ladies, we need to learn how to make the transition from just being baby mamas to being wives and mothers. And there's a difference. Some of us, need to just even make the transition from being a baby mama to just being a mother because we have the kids first before we even become a wife. A lot of us identify ourselves with being a baby mama. You're not a baby mama, you are a mother. And if you keep perceiving yourself as just being a baby mama, then you're not going to perceive yourself as being a mother first. And I want you all to really think about what I'm saying. We're so busy mourning our blowed up plans to keep a man in our lives by offering him a baby that he did not want, that we forever identify ourselves as that man's baby mama. Instead of saying whatever your child's name is, I'm going to use the word Aaron, for example. Instead of saying, I'm Aaron's mother. You're a mother. You're that child's mother, and that child needs you to operate in the capacity of being his mother, not his father's baby mama. Ladies, as Black women, we have not embraced the power of the word no. I'll say it again. We have not embraced the power of the word no. The word no is our best friend. You know, for everyone accusing me of catering to black men and mollycoddling them, I really don't, to be honest with you. There's so many things that I would not give a man who is unworthy. I have no problem with the word no, but that is because I have come into knowledge of myself a long time ago. But there are some of you out there who have low self-esteem, and you have not come into knowledge of yourself. And you do not know that the power of the word no, that no is your best friend. Ladies, everything that we do, well, not even just for the ladies. I mean, for this portion of what I've had to say, I'd say this goes for everyone. Everything that we do as a people needs to have a purpose. A purpose. We need to, when we go to our jobs, we need to work that job with a purpose in mind. What are we there for? What are we there to learn? Are we there to learn the business? Are we there to save money to get us to the next step in what we want to do with owning a business or getting education to get to the next step in our career? We have to have a purpose. And I see a lot of black people in the black community doing things with no purpose. We need to choose our professions and our trades with a purpose. Having the ability to look into the future, to start lining our path through life ahead of time. No, nobody has a crystal ball and knows what lies in store for us, but that's what planning and goals are for. And you can modify plans and goals if need be as you go along. But we need to have a purpose when doing these things. We need to build credit with a purpose. We need to know why we're doing this. We need to see what credit score we need to have, and we try to surpass that. And we need to know why we're building this credit. Are we going to build this credit so that we can have a good credit score so that we can get a loan to start a business or get a loan to buy property? You know, we need to do this with a purpose in mind. You know, we always hear you need to, have good credit. You need to make sure that you save money or you go to school, but we don't never have a purpose in mind for why we do these things. So having a purpose for everything that we do, that is the key. We need to save our money with a purpose. Some people have multiple savings accounts for different things. Like for me, I have a business account and I have a personal savings account that I use for things like miscellaneous stuff that might go wrong with the house, in case, we might have to, do repairs or something with our house or do repairs or something with our car. That's a personal savings account for that. Then there's a savings account for the retirement. You have your IRA, you have your 401k, you have your, what do you call that? My cousin has one and he put me up on it. And I just recently started purchasing it. Oh, I have to go in my little safe, my lockbox and get it. But oh yeah, savings bonds. I just recently purchased a few savings bonds. He put me up on those. But we have to do these things with a purpose. We need to spend our money with a purpose. Some of us go out and we just spend money and we just have things. And I remember a line from that movie, Baby Boy. And that was when Baby Boy was talking to his mother's boyfriend. And he was explaining then to Baby Boy and his friend the difference between, what was that, Don? Guns and butter. Well, it's the same thing. Spending money with a purpose. When he was describing the difference between having guns and having butter, basically the guns is the insurance and the butter is just things like a car or flashy clothes, jewelry. That's butter. These are things that don't appreciate with time. But the guns, those are the things that give you insurance, like a house, stocks, bonds, savings. Those are things that appreciate and you can use as collateral. We need to be dating with a purpose. A lot of us, a lot of people say, well, you know what? Sometimes people date and they don't want to, exactly, do anything. They just want to get out there and have fun. All right, that's fine. But when it comes time for you to actually settle down and choose somebody, and all that having fun that you were doing while you were out there dating around, you should have been figuring out what you like and what you don't like while you were out there having fun. So when you're dating, this is what the purpose should be. What do I like? What do I not like? What are the characteristics that are, not desirable, and what characteristics are desirable? Those are things that you should be discerning while you're out there dating. And also, we should marry with a purpose. There's so many people, that fall in love and they're marrying for love. And there's nothing wrong with marrying for love. However, we need to also think about legacy when we're choosing our people that we want to spend the rest of our lives with. And that is something that Black people don't do. I don't think we've ever done it. I don't think that we've actually married and thought about legacy. What does this person bring to the table? What is their reputation? How is this going to be passed down to our children? And what can we collectively build together when we merge our dynasties to pass down to our legacies, which is our children? We do not marry with purpose either. And then we also don't conceive children with purpose. We're running out here dating and getting all caught up into our feelings and thinking that we're in love within the first 6 months of meeting somebody. We're in the infatuation stage. And so some of us feel like, okay, we want to attach ourselves permanently to this other person. But this other person has not shown any interest in being married, and I'm not interested in being married. So the next best thing to attach myself to this person is to selfishly create a child with them. And then that way, that person will have to see me again and again. And this is conceiving without a real purpose. The purpose in that is fucker. It means that you're just selfishly interjecting a child into a situation where they have no stability. They're just a marker kid that just pretty much ties you to somebody that you had good sex with. Let's just keep it real. When, and this is going back to my ladies, is that little portion was for everybody, but this is coming back to just me talking to the ladies. When you are a mother, ladies, you are a servant. And I know that the word servant doesn't sound very pretty. Nobody wants to think of themselves as being in servitude. But when you become a mother, that's exactly what you are. You are the baby feeder, the diaper changer, the baby bather, the baby dresser. You do everything. You are a servant to your child. And you will continue to be a servant to your child until that child becomes grown. In the same way with you become a wife, you are a servant. This is why when you force this servitude upon yourself before you're ready, many of you begin to rebel against it. Because you're not ready to take on this position of servitude. You weren't ready to stop hanging out at the club and shaking your butt and twerking and whatever it is that you do for fun. You weren't ready for that. You weren't ready to bypass that promotion because you can't take on the extra hours because now you are a servant to your child. A lot of us have these children, like I said, just to link ourselves with somebody, trying to get around the proper way, which is marriage. And I'm just going to say, we need to learn the art of attracting and keeping people in our lives without feeling the need to offer them sex and a baby. For those who just cannot keep a man interested and coming back just for you and not because you have their child. And this is what a lot of us are afraid to be brutally honest with ourselves about. Some of us have actually made the decision to do these things, and then later on down the line, we want to lie to ourselves and to other women and say the condom broke, or the birth control pill didn't work, or you had a bad IUD, or whatever lie you can come up with. But you did it. It was planned. And when your plan blows up in your face, all of a sudden you want to become a victim. Ladies, we have to demand results in order to get results. And there's a way to convey that you have standards without you having to be loud. Actions speak louder than any words that you can conjure from your extensive vocabularies. And I know that our vocabularies can be quite extensive when we want them to be. When we want it to be. If a guy sees you, that you carry yourself in such a way that you love yourself first, you're not making him the center of your world. Because you had a world before he came along. And I'm going to say that again. When a man sees you and how you carry yourself, and you're not making him the center, you're not immediately making him the center of your world, because you already had a world before he came along. Having a baby to attach yourself to somebody is the stupidest plan that ever got conjured up in the female mind. And it's a plan that's conjured up out of an emotional impulse. It's an emotional impulse. And we cannot continue to allow ourselves to be reigned by our emotions. We have to actually utilize some thought. We have to use reason. We have to be able to intellectualize every move that we make without always becoming overly emotional and being led by just that alone. You can attract and keep a man just by carrying yourself as if you are something and somebody, and that is what makes you interesting. Have a life before getting with him, and continue with your hobbies, your friends, your personal goals, your interests, because these are the things that make you interesting. And you carry on with these things as normal, but as if you had never met him. He has to find a way to fit within your schedule. He has to earn your time. And I swear to you ladies, we have lost the art of doing this. When he has earned your time, he will cherish and value all the time that he spends with you, and count himself lucky that you're even giving him time in the first place. Respect yourself. Respect your body. You know, it's funny how we become aware of that old saying, my body, my choice, after we have an unwanted pregnancy. It becomes my body, my choice. But we don't seem to say the same thing about it being our bodies and our choices before putting ourselves in danger of unwanted pregnancy. Ladies, the phrase, my body, my choice, also goes for your choice to have unprotected sex, knowing that you can get pregnant and knowing that you can also contract a disease. A man is not going to have any respect for a woman that just freely opens herself up to him without a care for her body. And as much as, he's praising you and looking all happy as he's humping on top of you, when it's all over, after he has gotten what he wants, he is always going to remember how you get down. A man will have much more respect for you when you say no. No is your best friend. When you say no to unprotected sex, he will see you as a woman who has standards and high self-esteem, because you care about how you treat your body. And this goes beyond just cosmetic decor, but how you allow others to treat your body. Saying no puts you in a whole other category that your weave, your makeup, and your expensive clothes cannot place you by itself. It means that you are a woman who has standards and morals and values. And that man is not going to forget that. You add that to the fact that you are interesting, you have a life, You have things that you got going on outside of him, and you are going to make that man run after you. And saying no is not going to deter him. It's going to make him keep coming back wanting more. Making a man earn the privilege of having you in his bed does not make you a gold digger or a whore or a slut. It just means that you're not a cheap thrill. If you're not worth his time, and I'm talking about quality time. I'm talking about this man has taken the time to take you out, sit you down in a nice restaurant, talk to you, have interesting conversation. I mean, he has just shown you places that you've never been. And he has taken the time to try to impress you. Because see, just simply going to a restaurant isn't impressive enough. But this man has made all types of action to impress you. That's what I call quality time. Because he knows that you've done a lot of things and you've seen a lot of places, and he's trying to compete with that. When you get a guy like this that knows what he has got to do, that guy is worthy. Like I said, and if you're not worth his time or his money, then he is not worthy of you in all of your glory. As Black women, we undergo a lot of physical, mental, emotional, and verbal abuse. Whether it be from our peers, members of our family, the community, lovers, and lastly ourselves, because we're our own harshest critic. We're our own worst critic. But we undergo a lot of physical, mental, emotional, verbal abuse. And I am here to tell you, do not allow past hurts and abuse to dictate how you rate yourself as a woman. And I know it's hard to see the value in yourself after being a victim of people constantly putting their price on you. They're trying to tell you what they think you're worth. But again, this is where the word no becomes your best friend. When you tell them, no, I am not going to allow you to define me and who I am, or tell me what my value is, then you take your power back from them. You find the strength to rebuke them and deny them the power to define who you are and what you're worth. Because I'm going to tell you, niggas will always try to get something for nothing. And you are not a thing. You are somebody.